Hello, this is Skunky48, builder of the Sacred Oils NES brick controllers. I wanted to do a video of how to properly test a controller and also show how my baseline functions for these current builds that I've been doing for about 2 or 3 months now. It's been the same build. This is the shell and rubbers from a brand new NES Classic controller. Shell and rubbers from a brand new NES Classic controller. The D-pad is from retro modding, requires a little bit of sanding on the underside of the ball to match the circuit board. A and B are from Kitch Bent. Start and select are the rubber that comes in the NES Classic. The circuit board is a good conditioned and also refurbished original NES circuit board. And that's about all the build is. The special thing about it is mainly sanding the underside of the D-pad ball in a very specific way, little by little until you get the functionality you want. And then these 4 screws on the back under the D-pad are the important ones. If you have one of these controllers and it's functioning fine, do not take it apart. Do not touch these screws. I spend a lot of time dialing these things in with the screws. The tighter the screws are on the back, the less sensitive the D-pad is going to be in regards to what it takes to go from a cardinal direction to a diagonal or rolling the controller around. So to test these, first I just mash every button. Good. Left, right, up, down. Good. Try and hit my diagonals and make sure they're not engaging at different times. And also for the A and the B, I like to see how much pressure it takes to activate it. Like I'm just sliding off the top corner right now, bottom. Sides. So this tool, this controller test ROM, really gives you a good idea what your controller is doing. It's the most powerful tool a speedrunner can use, in my opinion. Just so you know what your controller is doing, you'll have a great advantage. So this is good. This is one of my favorite controllers I've built recently. This is my personal controller. But another major thing to test in regards to the screw tightness is I'll hold the direction, a cardinal direction, and then rock it just on the edge here. Just rock it from up to down if I'm holding left. So see how much it takes to activate the up and the down diagonal for that. And then just do that for every direction. You may be playing a game that doesn't require diagonals, which is fine. Then you can have this D-pad be less sensitive. But if you're playing any kind of like beat 'em up where you're constantly, holding your thumb on the controller and changing directions, this is critical. And also games, even platformers that require a lot of diagonals, such as Turtles 1, you want to be able to know when you're engaging your diagonal from a cardinal. But this is the baseline of where I set all my controllers for the most part. They do have some slight variants, but everything I've been building for the past couple of months has had generally the same functionality. I don't let them leave my shop until I would have kept it for myself and been happy with it. So another thing you want to do if you're testing a controller is press down as hard as you, not as hard as you can, but press down pretty hard on the controller in the center and rock it around and see if it'll allow you to do a left and right input or an up and a down input. Now, if you're pressing really hard to get that, it's fine. You're not going to do that in normal gameplay, I hope. But as the controller wears, and this is going to take a long time, but as the controller wears, underneath the D-pad is a ball built into the D-pad that rests on the circuit board. Over time, that will wear a divot into the circuit board, and it'll be easier to get these illegal inputs. If you're getting illegal inputs, and like I said, it's going to take a long time for that to wear, to that point where you're getting them during normal gameplay and not purposely mashing the center of the D-pad. Then you'll want to tighten all your screws a little bit. These two under the A and B don't matter near as much, but it's these four in back of the D-pad here. So let's say if I were to hold right and I was rocking up and not getting that input, that would probably mean the screw behind the top, or the upright diagonal, is too tight. Or sorry, should be tightened down more. Wait, I messed that up. Go back. So if it's not engaging the diagonal like I want it to, the screw's probably too tight. So you want to loosen that screw to increase the sensitivity in that particular diagonal. And it takes some playing around with, but you can get a ROM like this, a test ROM for the controller, and dial your controller in with the screws on the back, which is really awesome. Most of these I've sent out have a decent amount of room to tighten the screws if need be. I did that to account for wear in the future, that you can tighten the screws down as it wears. But like I said, this is going to take a long time to do. You're going to have to put a lot of hours on it to really wear it. But yeah, use this tool. It can show you what you're working with. You'll know exactly what to expect when you're playing your game. Very powerful tool. And again, if you have any questions, if you've bought a controller off of me, feel free to reach out. I'll gladly help you tune it and dial it in. But basically, whatever screws on the back that matches that diagonal, if you tighten that, that'll decrease sensitivity. If you loosen that, that'll increase sensitivity. And a little bit goes a long way. So we're talking just 1/8 of a turn at a time to dial this thing in. And, you know, after you tighten or loosen a screw, give it a good wiggle around first before you test it out and see how it's working now. But anyways, that's how I like to dial my controllers in. I hope this has helped everybody. And if you have any questions, if you've purchased a controller off me, feel free to reach out. And I appreciate you watching. I appreciate all your love and support through this project, and good luck.